I don't think SmackDown is respectable in relationships. Bro, I believe in consent.
Sometimes you gotta smack people down to be safe sometimes. So
Dang.
Word. All right.
I my name is Light, y'all. I'm here, Black Power Ranger, Morphin time. You know what
Oh, I didn't see that.
It's me.
it
I
But
saw it.
Tibble, I have the same shirt off to the side right now.
is.
All good.
That's funny.
I'm Tevin. I'm here. We've been
Mhm.
inactive for a little bit, but that's definitely on me. We gonna be consistent again. But yeah, we're just here. We're gonna vibe out a little bit, some chill vibes. We might talk about religion, but we'll see how this flows. Um, we got Free Roam Geo over here doing a lot of
I'm
things.
free roaming right now. We free roaming for real. I'm looking to the cribbo. We just went on an adventure, a vacation. So I'm cruising. I hope everyone is doing well. Y'all gonna hear me huffing and puffing a little bit. I'm gonna mute myself. I'll try to remember to do so.
My man.
If I don't, you know,
Man, hit the
you just gotta
tactical
deal with
sprint.
it. Yeah. I wish I had ninja and marathon.
Oh my gosh. All right. I don't know how y'all want to start off, but you can just keep
Man, we
rolling.
talk about first things first. Shout out to God, whatever deity you believe in, whoever you pray to, because Derek Chauvin is guilty on all charges.
Rightfully so or
Oh
not
yeah.
rightfully so?
Man,
I'm asking. I'm asking the question. I'm asking the
You know what? I'm gonna let
question.
you do that. You're allowed that. You're allowed that. But I'm gonna say, boy, you don't shut rightful.
I'm just asking the question. I personally believe rightfully so. That's because
It's
like
100% rightfully so. Like some things in life are a little muddy. Some things are clear as day. That situation is day. Clear
yeah.
as day. And truly, then this is what I believe. If he had got off in that situation, there's no hope. There's no hope for anyone. We might as well just turn it into what is it? What's that movie where Tom Hardy was just in Mad Max? We might as well Mad Max right now. If it was if he got off, because I was like, you know what, I'm just do whatever, man. I Philly stop every single traffic light I'm in, because like anybody can do anything at this point, because we could probably get away with it.
well,
Probably.
we
But you know
can't
what?
get
That's
away
just
with
my
it.
humble opinion. That's my perspective.
We can't, we can't get away with it.
Eee. As in us
Man,
three, probably not. No.
potentially not. I'm fighting against this now. Like it's
But
it's not a every
but my
single
but my
person situation. I'm fighting
my
against that from
defense
now
would be
on.
like, imagine what my defense for it would be. That's all I'm saying.
Bruh.
Imagine how reckless I would be. I'm like, y'all
Bro,
let me.
and what's crazy is his defense lawyer had like hella people like contributing money to his defense. And now that he's guilty, that the lawyer just keeps the money. Like,
I
like,
mean,
like,
kind of.
Bro.
He paid his lawyer to try to help him win. He didn't guarantee it though.
yeah.
That's a thing.
I said
I just find it funny because there's a bunch of people big salty. It's like, oh yeah, I'm a stick it, I'm gonna stick it to George Floyd, and I'm gonna help Derek Chauvin's lawyer out and win the case. And people were out here probably like donating their whole paychecks to this defense fund.
I mean, you gotta go balls to the wall at that case. Man, Yeah, I spent a lot of time looking at the trial, like during work and whatnot. Sorry, bosses, but it
He said, "Sorry,
it
bosses."
seemed pretty clear cut for the most part. Like they tried to go through the motions of maybe he died from drugs. Like maybe he did, but at the same time, or maybe he could have. But at the same time, it definitely seemed like it was just a lack of oxygen, which is the cause of death. Like no matter which way you spin it, it seems pretty clear cut. And
Certainly.
it's weird to me that like as a lawyer, I don't know, it just seems so grimy, dude. That's like the first time I actually watched like a full trial. Like so
Yeah.
many parts of it just seem so grimy, but just like how can you argue with someone after they pass out like 5 extra minutes still holding the same position? Like homie wasn't resisting at that point. Like, you got to step off. But
I mean, that's their job, though. Their job is to literally get you off the hook. Their job
yeah,
isn't.
it's so grimy.
Their job is not to maintain morality. Their job is to help
It's
you
to
walk
win.
away.
So
Your
grimy.
job is to win.
So
So
I
grimy.
will say, I will say that I'm very happy to be proven wrong because I thought this dude was gonna walk. And I said that on podcast previously.
Yep.
Due to due to the nature of our criminal justice system and the way it has failed black and brown people in the past, I fully
Mhm.
expected this dude to walk. And I
Right.
was so happy to be proven wrong. As soon as I seen that picture of him getting walked out in handcuffs, I was celebrating.
It's a dub. It's a big dub. But in the same sense, I believe you. I believe you, and I honestly thought the same way. But in my head, I was like, "Yo, there's no way. There's no way he was." And I was like, then again, can I really trust that? Because George Zimmerman trial. We're just like, yo, there's no way this dude walks.
Yeah.
And they unpleasantly surprised by that. So I bring this on everything now.
Yeah, dude,
Ain't
that
no fault.
that just
In fact,
baffles me.
we kind of spill it. Spill the fault. Don't even drain it. Spill it.
And
Trust issues. Alexa, play Drake. Trust issues.
it's just crazy because we can kind of look into these very public instances where like a lot of things would be considered evidences plain for everybody to see. Especially like it's one thing if the actual incident happens before the cameras get cut on. But like with something like George Floyd where literally like this man died on camera.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Um, to me it's crazy to even like argue against that in any way. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I know people got to have trials and everything. Something I was just recently thinking about, honestly, was do y'all remember in the last couple of years? I guess it was last year's. There was a little boy named Cannon Hinnant,
mm-mm.
and he was killed. He was killed by a black man, and
Oh,
everybody knew he did it.
okay.
Everybody knew he did it. People saw him do it. He was arrested and convicted in under like 48 hours. So
Yes,
he
I
was
remember
that because there was this whole thing where people were like justice for Cannon Hinnant, and I'm just like, bro, he's going to get justice. He's a small white child, and the murderer is a black. Like, which yes, the murderer, Cannon Hinnant's murderer, rightfully belongs where he is. I'm not arguing that, but there was a whole hashtag like justice for Cannon, and I'm like, he's going to get justice. Like they arrested him in less than 24 hours, and in the next 24 hours they had charges filed. So and he was convicted. Like so, when we have a case like George Floyd, where there's video evidence of the wrongdoing on camera, but somehow the investigation still takes a whole last year. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of where it it I'll say confusing for lack of a better word. It's confusing for me
You don't think that has a
because
lot to do with like the high profile situation? Because like
I
as soon
mean
as you
it's
have a police involved, like and the extent to all the footage and evidence, like it kind of muddies the water to make it drawn out like that.
not really no.
What?
Sorry, I just like the
We
justice
know what to
system
do with all that.
the the justice system works exactly when it wants to. You know what I mean? And I think the now this is just me being conspiracy theorist Liggett, but I think one of the main reasons we got justice in this instance is because of the high profile. And I don't know if you saw like footage from Minneapolis when they were getting ready to announce the verdict, but they had like the National Guard there. They were ready for they were ready for war.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
And if they would have came out and said that man was not guilty, we would have been looking at a whole another year of protests, or as some people like to call them, riot. Um, so I think that was a very big contributing factor to the guilty verdict. Because I was like, yo, do you really want to be one of those jurors who uh, who voted not guilty and then walk out and get jumped by like a gang of people? like,
So you think that that played a part?
oh, most definitely. But this again, my speculation. But like, I feel like that had a huge part to deal with it. Um, it was it like it was saving face. Like it's not actually about like yes, justice was served, but I think justice was served primarily in order to prevent more civil unrest.
Why do you think that? Because like I've heard that scenario being put out. Like I understand why people think that. Like it makes perfect sense. You don't want to cause of any more fuss in the community. Like I understand that, but like at the same time, you don't think it was clear cut enough.
No, I think the case was clear cut. I 100% think the case. Sorry, I think the case was clear cut. My where my dilemma is I don't think they found him guilty because it was clear cut. I think we got a guilty verdict to protect the status quo. Like that's what I think. Like yes,
Yeah.
it's fortunate that there was a guilty verdict, and I'm very happy about it. But again, it just kind of like to me, I think this could have been wrapped up a long time ago. You know what I mean? And I feel like they knew that if it went any other way, who knows what would have happened. I mean, I know what probably would have happened, but you know,
Man,
that's what I feel.
I can't feel good about that though.
I mean, it doesn't the criminal justice system in America doesn't feel good. Like, and it definitely doesn't feel good for us. So then I guess that's my whole point, really. But I don't think this was like I would love to be wrong, but I wasn't in the room. You know what I mean?
Mm. Well,
Uh,
then does that mean that George Floyd got justice then, or is that? And this is like a two-part question, cause but yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. Did he get justice then? 'Cause I'm like, if we're saying that it was only chosen for that specific reason, or it played a decent part in deciding.
I don't know. I would like to hope that that's not the case, but I've been conditioned by this system to expect a backhanded apology. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and it's not because I'm like that's not me being paranoid. This is stuff that actually happens. on a very frequent basis.
Yeah.
And that's just, unfortunately, that's what life is to be black in America. It's just unfortunate. Yeah, I would love for justice to be served when and where it's needed, but like there's always going to be that question of, okay, well, did the prosecution really care about justice, or are we just doing this to, you know, not have this town burned in the ground? So I don't know. That's what I got to say about
Mm, I don't know.
it.
I feel like this one, this one in particular, with all evidence pointed at it, he got justice. Granted, what you're saying is true because my theory with everything is if there is something that you see on the surface, you got to understand what's happening underneath. So yeah, I completely agree with you, Light. But in the same sense of, you know, we could have been on the opposite side of this, and he could have walked. Uh, that that justice was actually served. Our justice system is still very flawed, as we all know. But in this sense, he did get justice. It's no matter what, we still lost a man in this country. We still had a dirty cop in that situation. We still have three more that are awaiting trial. So uh, we need to get all four of them. We need to not miss on that situation, and that's what really matters. If they get this, if they get Chauvin, and then they don't get the other three officers, then we
Yeah,
have to really say, what are we actually looking at? Are we truly serving justice, or is it just was that just a hey, throw them a bone because they're not going to rest after this? If this doesn't go through, if they don't convict the other three officers, then we'll know that's the case.
Hmm.
If we only get one of four, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But I, I
Because
I would be interested to see what the
they're
charges
just
are
as
in that
oh
case.
yeah, I mean they're just as guilty of whatever charges they receive. Like if they're getting the manslaughter, if they're getting all that, like granted they weren't the ones sitting on his neck, but whatever charges that he got put on and whatever charges they're getting hit for, which I haven't done the research, I don't know that.
Yeah.
If he got hit with guilty on all three accounts, they should be hit with guilty on all their counts for all of their grievances. Because why would you not charge them if you convicted the other one? That's my thing.
True. I have to look at the charges though to justify that. Um, because like there is, from what I watched in the trial, like there's a lot of body cam footage that was excluded for because the other trials are going to be happening. So I'd be interested to see if there's anything different that we already haven't gotten to see through social media and the trial itself. But yeah, I asked that question just because there's people that say that George Floyd didn't get justice because he isn't alive anymore. And I was kind of thinking about that question when you brought up Cannon saying that he got justice. So I'm curious if like why do people consider it to be that way? Like the result isn't the greatest when we lose somebody and someone's convicted. Like obviously you want the person to still be alive, but like what can we do? Like why can't we just be happy about the the
it's
the highest net gain we can get right now?
it's not the loss of life that I was focusing on specifically. It's the difference in how the situation was handled, because both situations were public. They were both public situations. Obviously, George Floyd was a lot more uh, notable. You know, uh, was definitely, it made more headlines and stuff. Well, arguably, but the thing is, like, Cannon Hinnant was still national news, but the response by the authorities in terms of like actually delivering justice and apprehending the person responsible, it was over within a week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, these dudes weren't even fired. You know what I mean? For like months. Like there was no like these dudes were walking around. One of the four officers from the George Floyd case, there's people taking videos of him just like going on his daily business at like the grocery store.
Supermarket, yeah, I remember seeing that.
Yeah, and so for me, it's the response, and that's why I feel like the justice is different because, like, yes, ultimately the conviction is what we want. That's the way the criminal justice system is supposed to work, and the way we're supposed to hold these people accountable for the things that they do. But the response and the time it takes to get that response is what I'm hung up about.
Yeah,
So, like, there was no reason this trial should have taken a year. That's what I'm saying. Like, yes, it was clear cut. I agree with that. So, it should not have taken nearly as long as it did. So, that's what I got.
word, word. All right. Um, you want to hit on this Makia Bryant stuff real quick?
Yeah, we can.
I haven't heard your thoughts on it.
Yeah, let's
Man,
do it. Educate me.
Should I just pull up the video? So pretty much what happened, as I explained a little bit earlier, the video footage that we did receive, which is pretty much the only thing I can go off of, it's probably like a 15, 20-second clip. And then there was some more extended stuff with the person that was allegedly about to be harmed further. But the with the police officer, a call is made. We have footage of that. On the call, we don't hear too much other than someone has a knife and that they're attempting to stab some other people. So I get the call. He drives up to the scene. Dude gets out the car, and then there's about like I said, like 8 people outside standing around, and then 3 people just come out of nowhere, or 2 people just come out of nowhere. Makia Bryant, he has a knife. She just has it in her hand. You can't really see it initially. Runs up on a girl, pushes her down. Um, then after that, turns around, goes after another girl that was in pink, and like pins her against a car, and seems like she's in the act about to stab the girl. And then at that time, the police officer shoots Nakia Bryant, I think a couple times, 3 times, 4 times, whatever it might be. And they try to resuscitate her, like almost initially after that. So, um, and then I think she's pronounced dead a little bit later. I'm not too sure about that, but that's pretty much the whole gist of the scene. I'm gonna let y'all do with that as y'all wish.
well, I'll say that the situation is unfortunate. Um, Especially with Makia Bryant was what 15.
15 or 16, something like that.
Yeah, so the situation is definitely unfortunate. Um, you know, we talk about all the time. We have all these discussions about police and their responses and whether or not they're justified or what would be a reasonable response in that situation, and how unpredictable situations can be and whatnot, and all that. And like, yeah, I understand that like police are trained to aim for center mass. Like they're not trained to like shoot for your legs or they're not gonna like shoot the knife out of your hand or anything
Yeah,
crazy
or
like
warning
that.
shots or anything like that. Because like that's initially what
Yeah.
I was thinking.
Um, because again, like even warning shots, if I have a knife and my adrenaline is pumping and I'm like really just uh, it's almost kind of like similar to like a UFC fight. How like when the other guy goes down, like usually the attacker doesn't back off immediately. Like he goes to the ground with them. You know what I mean? I think that's just due to that like adrenaline. You know.
In
Uh,
that sense, you're doing what you're trained to do.
yeah. Uh, so I think it's unfortunate, especially since she's only like 15 years old. Um, At the same time, though, it's like, is the gun the first thing you reached for? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a whole bunch of nuances to the situation. I don't want to be a hypocrite just because, oh, well, yeah, girl was stabbing people or allegedly stabbing people, going to stab people.
I mean, it's allegedly. I mean, I didn't see the footage, but if you're explaining that footage to me and I'm thinking about it the way I'm thinking, that officer is in the right to do what they did.
I was trying to be as unbiased as
Realistically,
possible. Like,
yeah, like if you're stabbing someone or attempting to stab someone, and a
Yeah,
police officer comes up and stops you by shooting you,
yeah.
like that person isn't in the wrong. Granted, yeah, there were probably other ways that they could have prevented it. That girl, who knows what was going on in her head or why this was even going down. I don't know. But they're literally trained to help people. And that's a weird kind of way. Like, I'm not sure why this one, I never, I didn't hear about this one until recently. But 15-year-old, watch your head. Watch your head. Make sure you watch. A kid holding a knife, trying to stab people.
Yeah.
If they're the ones getting hurt at the end of the day, like they're literally trying to kill people. You know,
I think like
they're just
initially when the story came up, people were saying that, and I don't know if this is debunked or not, but people were saying that she was attempting to defend herself because people were, I guess,
attacking her.
abusing or attacking or trying to fight her or something like that. But I
That's
don't
what
know
I had
how
heard too.
true or untrue that is.
That's honestly what I had heard. I had heard that she had been antagonized by the people she was in an altercation with before the video.
Yeah,
Okay.
So,
There's that, but did the other people have a knife?
nah.
but it was also, I mean, if it was what it was 2-on-1. You know.
Yeah, it's 2-on-1. You're getting jumped, but you pick up a knife. So, like, why are people calling the cops on you? Why can't they call the cops on the people that are attacking you? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Like,
saying.
I feel like once you pick up a weapon, you do have the upper hand. And if the situation was going on long enough for the cop to get there and respond, like in the manner that they did, what else was going on? Truly, because hey, if I'm getting attacked, if I pick up a weapon and somebody has enough time to call
Yeah.
like a cop and they get there,
Bro, like actually a minute just went by, like from the call, because you hear the dispatcher on the phone with the whoever calls them, and then like the police officer's point of view, you see him listening to the call, and it's like a minute goes by or something like that, or even something shorter, and then he gets
oh,
there.
it's not very long.
It's not very long at all, dude. It's like the whole clip is probably like a minute or 2 minutes. Like he gets there, and then like
Uh,
he gets out the car, and then like 10 seconds might go by, and like
and he's shooting.
and stuff is popping. Yeah, everything happens pretty quick. And
Damn,
like because of that
that's
reason,
terrible.
and like the situation, I too agree. Think it's justified,
Where
but at the same time, it
was this at?
sucks.
Where was this at that the response time was that fast? Because
I think he might have just been in the neighborhood.
he just was in the area. He was like, "Hey, officer, this is up
You
the
know
street." He was
why?
like, "All right, bet."
You know why
What?
he was in the neighborhood? You know
Stop.
why he was in
Stop.
the
Stop.
because it was black people.
Stop.
I'll
Yeah.
tell you like this. That's not always the case because, look, in Philly, they don't go into certain neighborhoods. They in fact ask you questions. Like I have friends that lived in Kensington that are white, and if you're walking down the street, a cop will come up to you and be like, "What are you doing here? You shouldn't be here. Are you trying to buy drugs? Are you trying to do like they'll question you because you look innocent. You don't look like you should be here." So I don't know about that. That's interesting.
It
It's
was
very, very interesting.
it was in Columbus, Ohio. Yeah.
Ohio was weird altogether, to be honest.
Oh man. Yeah, it's
Ohio.
it's
Shout out
definitely unfortunate,
Victor.
man.
Victor's from Ohio.
True.
My whole thing is, I don't know. if she was being attacked and she was the one that was defending herself, and then this happened, no matter what, somebody died. Like, I feel terrible about it,
Yeah.
but in the same sense, the officer was doing what they were trained to do. It's unfortunate.
So can I be the one to play devil's advocate here for a second?
Yeah, go ahead.
So this girl had a knife, right? And she was shot. Justifiable response. We'll all agree that it's a justifiable response, right? Here's my thing. She was allegedly going to stab this person. This person has no actual stab wounds, and you can argue that that's due to the response of the police officer. But we got all these other instances of people actually dead with people who were shot by people with guns, and subjects were still taken into custody unharmed.
I feel like we talked about this before. Like, don't do this.
Oh yeah, we definitely. I know what you're talking about.
What?
Yeah.
So my response to that is the act of potentially soul stoning somebody versus the act that's already been done.
Okay,
Yeah,
so it's about
You
preventing.
yes, you shoot threats.
it's prevention.
You don't shoot previous threats unless it's like there's some type of vendetta or something.
But when does a threat become a previous threat unless the threat surrenders?
It doesn't have to
You know what I
surrender.
mean?
You just have to show no sign of being a threat. Like in the case with Kyle Rittenhouse, like his hands was up. He wasn't doing anything. He was walking towards police. Some people got shot in the same situation with their hands up and whatnot, but in that situation, they didn't deem him as a threat, which kind of makes sense. With his hands are up, he's not doing anything. But in this
Well, the
specific
thing is, like,
situation, go ahead.
he made it home. He made it home, all the
Yes,
way home.
I don't necessarily
Different.
agree with it, but like,
I don't.
you know, if you're
I
not
don't get
presenting a
it.
threat in that very moment, like they got no reason to shoot. It
I
Well,
would say think of
sucks.
it like um oh recently recent terrorist acts uh where they walked away from it. It oh yeah oh yeah
I mean, we got people who did no harm, followed all the rules, weren't a threat. It wasn't a an antagonistic situation, and they still got killed. So
yeah.
I don't know. Like, again, there's the difference in responses is what it is for me.
Yeah,
Because yeah,
Oh,
the police officer is trained to stop the threat, and they're trained to prevent the loss of life. But at the same time, we don't see that same kind of response across the board in different situations. You know what I mean? Because uh, we got people at traffic stops in their cars who aren't doing anything wrong, weren't doing anything wrong,
mm-hmm.
comply with the orders, given to them, and they still end up dead. So, and they didn't just go shoot up a church or stab somebody. They were just going from point A to point B. You know what I mean?
Oh, we know
So,
exactly how you feel and what you mean. We know. We
but
let's
so
just be honest.
so
We're seeing it
that's
as a threat also.
yeah. So that's what it is for me. It's the response.
It's a
Like, yeah, in this, like I'll say, in this situation, it was justified, but it's still the difference in response for me. Like, I don't know if you would consider a lack of training across the board, but uh, um, yeah, it's just not, the response is not consistent. And there's, for every incident like this, there's almost always one where there's mirroring circumstances where, like, the response was completely opposite. So,
yeah,
or the same.
yeah. Okay, I can get with that.
yeah. Well,
Uh,
when it really comes down to it, we know the few characteristics that make things different. We'll just,
Yeah, we
Yeah.
we'll just leave it
melanin,
Oh
baby.
man.
there. Mel N.
It's gonna get better though. So
In time.
yeah, takes time. Alright.
So, let's talk about something light. How's your week been?
My week.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, the cycle. What have I done?
Cycle.
The cycle, dude. You wake up, you go to work, or you crawl over from your bed to your desk. You work, eat food throughout the
You said I
day.
crawl. Crawl.
Boy,
Why are you crawling?
crawling, boy. Um, so last weekend I mentioned that I went strawberry picking with my parents. Thought that was pretty cool. I don't know where them strawberries went, but we picked about like 2 boxes full. I left them downstairs on the counter. Never seen them things again, so I'm gonna have
He
to,
was like, we went and picked strawberries and they threw them
yeah,
out.
straight to the trash. It was like they're not sweet enough, so we gotta stomp those out.
These aren't right. Gotta go.
But yeah, that was pretty cool. That's something I've never done before, so it was interesting in doing that. Always been interested in doing something similar. I've been blueberry picking when I was in Alaska, so kind of reminiscent of that.
Blueberry picking?
Yeah, go up into the mountains, boy.
I feel like that's so many. Like even strawberries, it sounds like a lot. Like strawberry sounds like a lot of things to pick to fill
Like
any container worth
when you
taking
say
home.
when you say 2 boxes, do you mean just like U-Haul boxes or Amazon
Like,
boxes?
what's the size? You said boxes.
This man said
In
a
my head,
U-Haul
I'm seeing
box,
containers. I'm seeing like grocery
bro.
store container size.
Y'all killing me
And
right now.
you've been out there for like 3 hours and you got
Nah.
2 boxes like this.
Imagine like the length and width of this box,
Yeah.
but like I'm trying to get this level. It's about like right here. Yeah, something like that.
Hold up.
Uh,
I can't see. I'm on my
My
phone.
bad.
so that's
Let me see
probably
the
what
depth.
like a good 20 25 pounds worth of strawberries
Uh,
maybe.
each box, I think they said would get up to like 20. Nah, 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 nah. It'd be like $22. They said it's about like 5 pounds or 6 pounds per box or something like that.
5 pounds of strawberries per box.
Yeah, so about like 10 pounds of strawberries, something like that.
Let me go in the fridge real quick. I'm gonna see our net weight of strawberries.
My
How much
goodness.
was the picking? How much did it cost you to go on the field? Did they have a time limit?
So they priced us for the weight of the box, and then I think a pound of strawberries was like I want to say 99 cents or something like that.
99 cents a pound?
Yeah,
Okay, that ain't bad. Grocery store prices. You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. We just got back. We ain't
it's like ain't nothing in there.
strawberries.
You got mustard or ketchup, that's it.
I'm trying to
Man,
look at the net weight.
man's got a whole thing of blue cheese in there and nothing to put it on.
Oh, ew. You got blue cheese in your fridge for?
Okay. 1 pound in the store for like $3. You got 99. So okay, you might have made a steal, but you had to pick them up yourself. So I don't know.
I
It was like
mean, that's a trip to the gym. That's some family time. Like you got everything in at one
something
time.
that's okay. Okay. So what you're saying is the value of the whole situation made it worth it.
Oh, for
That
sure.
way.
For sure. It was like a
I'll take
total of
that
like maybe like $20, $30, something like that.
all together.
Yeah, man,
Okay.
that's a good date if you're trying to bring somebody out there.
Well, here's the thing. You don't know what happened to your strawberries, therefore I feel like it's an L. We go, we go with an L. Did you eat them? Did you even take a bite?
Dude, I don't know where they're at, dude. I'll
No, you
figure it
done
out. I'm
pick
pretty sure they're in the
strawberries
house or
too.
like in the freezer or something. I know my
Nah,
mom
you
went
need
up
to
there with the
find those
pigs out.
strawberries ahora.
My goodness.
I want to
You
see
just
you
go.
eating a strawberry before the end of this episode.
I can't guarantee
I ain't
that.
gonna
If that jump frozen, I ain't biting into the fridge. I ain't biting into
You
that.
better go thaw a strawberry out.
We're gonna put some strawberries on the Facebook page for the Perspective
Oh
Facebook
my gosh.
page.
My goodness. But yeah, I did that, and then yesterday we all went down to it's like Galveston area. We went to there's a space center, so saw some rockets and stuff. That was pretty tight as well.
Nice.
But boy, being
See,
outside and that pollen be messing me up.
boy, Colin wrecking me right now. Allergy season
It's ridiculous.
is not with me.
That's why I stay inside. But yeah,
I'm getting
that's
destroyed. I hate it. I don't get it.
I,
Whoever higher power you believe in, why did they decide to make people allergic to shit? Who decided? Who decided that being sick was a cool thing? A thing for us to do as humans. Like that's what I want to get. I want to fight that person.
what you
I,
mean? People try their whole lives to be sick. You know what I
nah.
mean? I'm sick naturally. You know that's
you good, man?
like in
What you got?
in a.
What you got?
I mean, I'm ill, homie.
Oh, you all right? I think you need to go sip on that scissor.
Sick on that. Oh no.
uh,
The
uh,
Tussin boys.
my week was pretty low key. I haven't been a victim of pollen because I'm awake when the sun is asleep. So, uh,
Nocturnal now. If you act like pollen's like, okay, I'm down. I have now
Pollen's
settled for the
nocturnal.
evening. I have settled for the evening. I don't need to be anywhere. Bro, wind happens at night. Therefore, you can die at night.
Wait, I have a quick question, real quick, and I'll let you go. Look it. Have y'all ever felt the wind blow at night?
have you ever heard the pound of the
Yes.
Bluebird
Okay, okay.
moon?
I just,
Have you not?
I just had a moment, dude.
Bro, yes.
I was like, when was the last time I felt that?
Said, have I felt the wind blow at night? I don't know.
that is nipply. Like when that wind hits you at night, it's already like 55, 60 degrees. That wind comes through like a freaking Pidgeotto just or Lugia just flapped its
A
giant hand
pigeon.
wings.
Cam, I'm gonna
uh
need you to walk outside. COVID. You look. You was out here picking strawberries. What time did you get home? It was during the day.
Like
The light was still out.
4 or 5, something like that.
Okay. So you haven't seen the night before.
Dude,
It's been a long time since
I,
you've seen the night.
I hit that Dragon Ball ending stare out the window while it's raining. That's about all I do when it's dark outside.
He was like, "What is that out there?" I don't do that
Yeah,
anymore.
this is life now, man. It's crazy.
You tucked in.
But what you got, look at?
Man, that's the same thing as you basically. It's just a cycle. I will say that I started a new job. I won't say what it is because this is the internet, and I don't need y'all
He
coming
works.
to
He
find
works at
me.
Kroger. It's Kroger.
um, but it's so nice being at a workplace that actually gives a shit about COVID protocols.
Nice.
Uh, there is plexiglass barriers everywhere. Temperature checkers at the door. Um, so disinfecting, protocols and rigorous cleaning and stuff like that. So that's very good to see, especially coming from my last job where my last boss didn't give a shit, and his attitude was very much, if I get COVID, I get COVID, but mostly I believe it's a conspiracy. That was the attitude that he had. So
Hmm.
that's nice.
I feel
But yeah.
like safety. If you were in construction too, and safety is like the number one rule.
Yeah.
Safety.
So, um, but yeah,
I
I'm
can't even lie.
chilling.
Construction is sketchy. They're like my safety guy will be yelling at us, "Hey, don't do that! Don't go by that hole!" And then I get like throw my hard hat across the somewhere else. I don't need this. Stop throwing. That's what they
Boy,
care about. My hard
OSHA.
Mm. Bro, what is that? I don't know what that is at my last job.
Asha Watt.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. They don't come by. We got pallets and concrete, like pallets of concrete bricks just like hanging off an edge of like it's like 25 feet up in the air.
Bro, I could not.
I can never.
A brick to the head might be some good money though.
Yeah, if you live through
I mean, you just
If
got you gotta take
exactly.
it to the corner. You gotta turn your head like this, and like it's gonna hit you like this, but it's gonna slide right off
How about I
oh,
just take it to my shoulder? No, not my
to your
shoulder.
shoulder. Then get separated.
Just hit me dead center in my chest with it, and I think that works. I'm cool
mm,
with that.
Yeah.
Dead center in the chest.
Do you
In the
think
chest.
do you
I'll
think
be
I could
alright.
survive a brick to the head with my fro?
No.
No.
Depends on where it's falling from, the velocity at which it
mm,
hits the cranium. You'll probably be concussed, or you might just get deboed. I don't know. Probably,
I'm gonna take
maybe.
that sacrifice.
Look, if you're chasing the check, I will go to your job and throw a brick at you.
Hopefully you buy a brick, you be like a couple bands.
Oh, I will Mario throw a brick at you at your job if that's how
Bro,
I'm doing it for the homie, man.
man,
It's all up.
don't be throwing bricks at me, man. This man about
it
What?
makes
this man about to travel a couple thousand miles, throw a brick. All right, I got you.
Throw one brick. Look, if I travel a couple thousand miles, throw one brick and we catch a check, I just want
Whoa, whoa,
10%.
whoa, 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 whoa! You said we?
In the plan. I'm invested at that point.
You better invest in
How
my
about
medical bills.
I either enrolled or got a plane ticket? You're not gonna get a bill. It's literally working comp. Like it's not like I'm gonna throw it at you and they gonna know it's me. I'm gonna set up a device that it launches and you just happen to be the person that trips said device.
All
It's
right.
almost like a booby trap.
I
Oh
mean,
my god, Tevin got hit with a brick. What happened to Tevin? Oh no, why?
if I'm
Why did
working
Tevin
from
get hit with a brick?
home, you
Oh,
you gonna set up some stuff in my house. Man, I'm like, yo,
well, see, but-
Gio's here. Oh. Oh, this is what it means.
well, this is where we struggle because now you've told your job that the brick hitting happened at home. You should be on site. Let's make sure you're back in the office.
Bruh.
We can't get workman's comp at home.
I mean, maybe if
Can't
I
do
got
it.
like what's the thing called with the hands? Carpal
With the
tunnel.
hands.
If I got carpal tunnel, maybe.
carpal tunnel.
I don't know. I feel like that's too much work.
Yeah.
Or you could sit down at your computer and your computer could mysteriously blow up. Be like, I got injured on work hours, so I'm gonna need a replacement computer and I'm gonna need a check.
I mean,
I
like it's right next to a wall, so I don't know how I'm going to get that fixed too. And my other computer, I'm going to get that fixed. I mean, I don't know.
we have ways. I feel like You're just being soft about how we can get this working.
I'd rather be soft and alive and mentally well than take a break to the head. But that's just me. I'm gonna leave it at
All
that.
right.
Oh,
Uh,
what?
what were we talking about? Oh, our weeks. Okay, I guess I'll talk about my week. My week has been fun. I've been driving a lot. Was in a U-Haul. I had no
Do
speaker.
Oh,
you have
Actually, I did.
boxes?
I was gonna say no
Huh?
music.
Do you have boxes?
Yeah, I got tons of boxes. Boxes everywhere.
But also your boxes don't have strawberries either.
You know what?
Yeah, what size
They
boxes
don't.
you got? Cause I don't know if we're talking about the same scale.
I had bigger boxes. Oh God! In fact, I'm moving more boxes right now.
Bigger isn't always better,
Um,
Gio. So
nah, not always, especially for what we were doing.
what were y'all doing?
We were, we were moving from uh moving a unit from. Oh, look at the dare line. It's a lie. We were moving Breeze storage unit from Florida up here to our humble abode. So yeah, we had to travel the country basically.
Did y'all make any cool stops,
Oh,
or was it just a trek?
oh, sorry. Excuse me. Um, hold on, let me put this down. I see I'm outside. Yeah, no, we were making like a half the country type trip to move all the stuff back up and clear out our storage unit. And it was really good. We made some stops along the way. We went to Savannah. We were in Virginia, and then we finally made it back home. Oh God! Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm yelling. Okay. Um, Now we're just in the middle of organizing everything, putting it in its proper place, and I'm in the middle of packing my car because I have to go out to Pittsburgh tomorrow. So yeah, that's the reason I'm on here and moving stuff because it is. But what we did before that, before we drove back up, we went on vacation in Florida. So I was on the beach every day, which was really awesome.
Yeah.
Sort of. I will say this though, uh, we got ransacked. We were on the beach. We left. We went on a walk and we left a lot of our stuff out. Uh, and a whole lot of seagulls. No, we were on the beach, and a whole bunch of seagulls came in. Everything. They got it all. Chips, uh, candy. Yeah, we got robbed.
Mhm.
Bro.
They just hit us up for everything we had. Actually, they didn't get to the fruit because the fruit was in containers. But everything else,
Mm.
we saw it too. We looked out in the distance. I was like, oh man, you know what if people stole our stuff, man? It would be tough. Didn't matter. It wasn't people. It was birds.
I mean, nah, I would kind of expect that. It'd be kind of weird to see like a bird eating a gummy worm, but
Oh no, they were. They poked all through the chips. Oh,
eating bags of air. Alright.
That's what it looked like. You got games in your phone? I was like, leave me alone.
Bruh. Alright, let's hop on over. Do I even have a label for this? Religion. Yes, I do. Alright, cool. So the sort of kind of main topic is supposed to be religion. I'm gonna hop into it. Um, I don't know exactly how y'all want to go about this. There's things that have been said on the podcast in previous episodes, which I fought against, but I'm gonna leave that towards the end.
So you were expecting a response.
No, I wasn't. I was
Um,
just being dramatic. Um, so I have a bunch of questions listed. I'm not sure if y'all have specific questions y'all want to ask each other, but I have some
I
questions
have
listed.
opinions. I don't know if I necessarily have questions.
All right, shoot an opinion out there. We can vibe off of that.
Is Gio, you still around? No, because all right. So,
Hold up. My screen's black. I'm not sure if you can see me.
I mean, now I can see you, but it's not like
Um, there it is.
All right.
I'm still
okay.
around. No, I was using the restroom.
Oh, you good?
All right. So I have an opinion, but I don't want it to be like the icebreaker in regards to the entire conversation. But if you want it, like it's whatever.
We can start off chill because my questions are pretty chill, and then we can just kind of run
Okay.
He
off of
said,
that.
I have an opinion, but I don't want it to be the
Just
opening.
head over here, try to Gallic gun, frame one. It's like,
Shut
whoa,
up.
whoa,
I,
I'm
whoa,
I
whoa,
don't
skipping.
know to set it
I'm
off in
skipping
here.
the power ups. I'm going straight to SS Blue.
He said, I just want hands. I want instant hands. I want
bro.
everybody in here fighting.
All right.
Trying to start a mob pit.
Well, an easy question would be, how do you, or not? I'm not gonna start there because that's pretty much what you're going to say. I'm pretty sure. We could just go off like, what do you like about religion? Just religion in general. It does have to be Christianity, even though I know most of us probably grew up around some form of Christianity. But religion in general, what do you appreciate about it?
um, I guess I'll start. I appreciate the things I appreciate about religion. Um, One, it was something that allows many people to have something to believe in. Really, uh, when you see religious people, like yeah, they kind of like base their life, like I would say more devout religious people. They base their life decisions on what their God may do or what they might say. It may help some people, which is really really good. So I appreciate that part of religion. It allows people to oh maintain a solid life, um, and not be afraid of mortality. I should say mortality is a big thing for a lot of people. Like what's happening after we go. Uh, so for the people that are super religious and that's what they care about and what they're worried about, it gives them something to believe in and something to and a reason not to fear what's happening after we go,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is really good. Someone else can go ahead.
Word. Go ahead, like, if there's anything.
I will say that it is nice to have something to feel hopeful about. Regardless of what it is, whether it's religion or just anything in general. And I think religion is one of those things that does provide that the feeling for a lot of people. So it's good. You know, I don't want to equate it to like exercise or eating healthy. You know what I mean? Like in terms of like stuff you do in like moderation to better your life overall. Like I don't know if it'd be fair to make an equation to those things about religion,
Mm-hmm.
but uh, I think I think anything that can be a source of hope is good and definitely useful in the times that we live in, or just in general. Um, Unfortunately, it doesn't always stop there, but that's like a whole other thing. But you know, I think it can be comforting, it can be hopeful, it can provide a serene sense of mind. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? Peace of mind.
Yeah.
So
Okay. I would say pretty much the same thing that both of y'all have said. It's nice to be a part of something, and it's nice to with the whole mortality thing. I think that's a good example of what religion does for some people. Um, but I would say for me, for whatever reason, like this past week, I was preparing for some discussions by listening to the Bible because there's certain things in the Bible that I'm curious about that I haven't really learned about enough through my own eyes to be able to speak about. But I'm trying to go on that journey to understand some things, just to better understand it, not necessarily to utilize it, but I do utilize some of it. But anyway, my point being is, for whatever reason, going to church, growing up, and reading Bible and listening to the words in the Bible somehow like makes me feel good at times. Like it doesn't seem like it at in plain sight. It doesn't seem like it makes sense, but it might just be it might be the power of the Bible. It might be being able to kind of go back in time, kind of like nostalgia. I'm not sure exactly which one people would say it would be. I know which one Christians would say it would be. I know which one my mom would say it would be. Um, but that aspect of it feels pretty good. I'm not sure if the same goes for other religions, but it's always nice to have that good feeling of like everything in the world doesn't really matter right now, and like I don't know, I just feel pleasant. Nice. All right, cool.
that's good. I was expecting you to say something.
My
No, but
goodness.
that's good though. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want anything I say to be framed in an antagonistic way. You know what I mean?
What?
Yeah.
You can't say that. You over here saying that other people being antagonizing by the words they say, and
Yeah,
your
okay.
intentions
I
doesn't
get it.
match the consequences of that.
All right. Yeah, you know what? That's
Like
fine. That's
that.
fine.
That just sounds like you're scared of consequences.
No, okay, fine. You know what? You got me on that one. All right. So, I don't know. I just try to be very careful when I speak about religion because I myself am not religious. And I don't want anything I say because I am aware that there are consequences to the things I say and do, especially regarding other people and other things. Um,
Don't be afraid of cancel culture.
no, I'm not. Look, that's not even what it's about. It's just
Hmm.
I want to speak on something that I don't believe in from a respectful place. You know what I mean?
Well, as long as you're not
Like,
just like straight up saying, "Oh, religion's dumb.
like
you're dumb for thinking this, blah blah blah." Like, there's ways to
Yeah,
no,
still express those
yeah,
feelings. Just
yeah, never that.
yeah,
yeah.
Um, but yeah, so like it's good that religion is you're able to get that from religion. You know, like I grew up in a Christian household too. My parents did, their parents probably did. You know, Christianity is more or less the default religion for America. Um, uh,
I would definitely
so
agree
like
with that.
I grew up in and around churches. Again, I myself am not religious, but um, I'm happy that people are able to find that peace in religion. You know,
Yeah,
so as long as they're not using it for nefarious purposes, which can be like anything else,
yeah.
honestly. So,
All right, let's jump into that then. My next couple questions were, what do you like about it, or what you don't like about it, and what do you think needs to be changed? Because obvious
so
this is the deeper part of the discussion.
yeah. So here's my thing, right? And then anybody can respond however they want to respond to it. The issue for me personally probably isn't with religion as a whole. It's the way society treats. religion and specific religions over other religions. Like I said, the default religion of America is Christianity, but we're supposed to be a melting pot of all races, ethnicities, religions, beliefs, whatever. Um, but we're still at a point in 2021 where we're afraid of people who quote unquote look Muslim. You know what I mean? Like they may not even necessarily be Muslim, but people automatically equate Middle Eastern people of Middle Eastern nationalities to, and they make that automatic jump. It's like, oh well, you're brown, so you must be Muslim. You know what I mean? So like, there's definitely like stereotypes, harmful stereotypes, and Christianity is just kind of looked at as the norm, and that I think needs to change because there's nothing wrong with being Muslim. There's nothing wrong with being Buddhist. Uh, any other of the multitudes of religions that exists. Um, Hinduism, just whatever, Jewish. Um, and I think that for me, a big problem I have with uh, not necessarily religion, but people who claim to be religious is they use religion to discriminate against other people. And this isn't like a new thing. This isn't like the thing that only exists in modern times, like the Crusades, like back in the olden days. You know, it was a war fought in God's name, and a bunch of people were killed over it, or just like for the sake of spreading Christianity. And that mindset still exists here and now in this time, which, there's a bunch of people who are like, well, Christianity's under attack, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, it's really not. Like, we're never, like, regardless of how ostracized you feel for, and I'm not saying you in the sense of this conversation, but anyone watching, regardless how ostracized you feel for being a Christian, Christianity is always going to be the most popular religion in the world. Like, it's not under attack. You will never be the minority.
All right, I'm gonna cut you off real quick.
All right, go
I,
ahead.
I don't think Christianity is the most practiced religion in the world right now. I think it's Islam. As
Okay.
in, I think there's more Muslims than there are Christians. Or maybe it's. I'm gonna look it up. Go ahead. But I just wanna.
But yeah, but that's basically what I was saying. Just the discrimination, what it is for me. And I think for me, my big step away from religion was that growing up, in and around churches and my family, you kind of just trust and believe what adults tell you, because they're the adults, they're your parents, they know right from wrong. So you don't really question it until you start to get a little older. And for me, it's just a lot of stuff wasn't making sense to me, and I just realized it wasn't for me. And I went through this whole thing where, like, I was straight up, like, I'm an atheist. And I was straight up, like, I was afraid to tell people. I was afraid to tell people that I've known for years, like friends, family members,
Hmm.
because, you say, oh, I don't believe in God, they look at you like you, like, said, I eat babies. You know what I mean? So that's like a big thing for me. Is I was like, uh, just be accepting of people who have different religions or aren't religious, and don't look down on them for not sharing your religion, and don't automatically assume that everybody else practices the same religion you do. That's like my big thing.
Oh, yeah, I feel that. I feel that entirely. Um, what Ted was looking up, yeah, there are more Muslims in the world there are Christians.
I don't know.
As far as the practice goes, but like Light was saying, America predominantly is Christian, and to get into what I mean, we were talking about, things we like, things we don't like. I don't really like what a lot of, in the same sense, what a lot of, I would say, the more radical people when it comes to religion uh, have done, or have done things and said, oh, it's because of this. Religion in itself is a decent thing. What it's meant to be is supposed to be good. We're supposed to be able to, have something to believe in, to follow some set of rules, things like that. Morally it is good. Granted, what it has been used for has mostly been rough, has been bad. Um, and even in a sense, when people do things in two religious places, like it, for instance, we've had shootings at churches, we've had shootings at mosques, we've had shootings at, tons of places of worships, or, attacks in tons of places of worship. They're looked at differently. Like, if someone shoots up a building, they shoot up a building. If someone shoots up a church, it's like, oh my God. Like, literally, oh my
Mhm.
God. It's taken to a point of, yeah, this religion, or this person that is affecting this religion, are set aside and looked at differently as, or than a person just affecting any other place. Which, for me, I feel as though religion in itself has been tarnished. Like, I'm not a person who really believes in one God. I know there's something up there. There's no reason we're here on this earth without something creating it. But I'm not going to say I know what it is. I have no idea. I have no clue. All I can just assume is we are here for a reason. We were created for a reason. You can truly believe what you want to believe, um, because we have no proof. We have no proof of what actually did all this. We have no proof of why we exist. So, sense of one person saying, yeah, my religion is more important than yours, or yeah, my religion should be followed more than yours, or my religion is, you know, more close to what the truth is like, we, in the end, like, at the end of it all, we have no clue. So we can't be righteous and say one person's religion stands taller than someone else's. It's just what you believe. It's really what you believe. So, yeah.
Word. Okay.
Yeah.
I feel that. I feel that. Um, that brings up a good point though. 'Cause just like if there are all these gods, then it's just like what religion came up first? Like is that considered to be the more valid religion to go with?
Mm, I would say religion in its beginning, most of them were created by men. They're created by man. So part of it is, this is probably gonna have raise tons of eyebrows, but like it's also a sense of control. Like, hey, let me write down a set of rules for people to follow. Let me say it's God that did it. God spoke through me. How do we know that? We don't know that God spoke through anyone. We don't know what God is. We can say that something happened, but like I can't tell. Like, I don't know that your heart beats like my heart beats. I'm not going to know that something spoke through you. I can trust you and believe that that happened, but do I actually know? No, not at all. I don't know a damn thing about anything that's going on inside of you
Yeah,
unless I can prove it through like science. But truly, you can't prove that the word of God or anything or a possession or something happened to someone unless you experience it yourself. And then you just have to convince other people of it.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah. I think that ends up being the hardest part for people that don't believe in whatever particular religion. That I think that ends up being the difficult part to get them to believe.
Mm-hmm.
And in addition to a couple other things, which might be a little bit, well, not necessarily conspiracy theory, but kind of my ideas of why people don't. But I'm gonna go ahead and answer the same question that I proposed. Um, Pretty similar to what you guys said. I don't like stuff being forced onto people. Um, it's weird in the sense of the radical cases that you feel the need to harm another individual or force them to be completely sin free or whatever the most righteous form of practicing that religion is. Because for Christianity in general, like a lot of it is based around the whole idea that we're all sinners. If you believe in that or don't believe in that, whatever. Um, and it's like you have to understand that no one's going to really be a perfect human being. We're trying to achieve perfection in the sense of like not doing any wrong, but at the same time, it's like you have to understand that other people are trying to do their own thing, and you can't make them be your version of perfection, if that makes sense. So pretty much like echoing what you guys have already said. Um, I don't know why some individuals do that, other than either their interpretation of the same literature is a little bit different from what others might believe. Like I think that that's one thing that always throws me off every single time. Because like we can all three of us could read something that verbatim is the same thing, but we might all pull a different interpretation from it, or we all might focus on um, a different piece of it more than the next piece. And it's things like that that like it throws me off all the time because I'm completely sure that people do that. The more radicalized individuals when it comes to religion, um, and it sucks that that's the case. But anywho, um, yeah, so that's kind of my point of view as far as the negative things. And again, like you guys already said, is people using it negatively. People allegedly do it for the money, which that kind of throws me off as well, because we see like televangelists that people always speak about, which I'm like, you could be helping out individuals. Why do you need that much money? At the same time, I can't be like, yo, you should spend your money in this specific way. Like, who am I to say that you're supposed to use your money in a specific way? So like situations like that kind of throw me off.
Something else, personally for me, is just I've been in conversations before with people that I've known for many, many years. People I care about me, and religion gets brought up, and then I say that I don't believe in God. And it's not even like I'm shaming them for believing or being religious. I'm just stating a fact that I'm not. And
You're not saying like
people
there
will,
isn't a God. You're just saying that you don't believe in a God.
right,
Yeah.
right. And people get offended by that. And uh, straight up, I've had people like cut me off. I've had people look at me different. And I'm just like, yo, like, sorry. And I'm just like, yo, like, if I never would have told you that, you would have been none the wiser. You know what I mean? Like, this relationship would have kept going exactly how it's been going. And you wouldn't have thought of me any differently. So why does this one thing change your entire perception of me? You know what I mean? Like, why does this one thing automatically change who I am completely. You know what I mean? Like, okay, so I'm not religious, so I can't be a good person. You know what I mean? So like that's more of my like personal experiences with, I guess if we're calling them radicalized religious people.
Hmm.
Uh,
Is there a difference between radicalized and non-radicalized?
well, I'll say that my family was pretty, not like my immediate family, but like my grandparents and like their families and stuff like that. They're pretty. Uh, the Bible is the Bible, and there's no room for interpretation. You know what I mean?
What was
Like
crazy
it's
about the Bible, it was all interpretation.
yeah,
Like they would, growing up in the church, we were Baptists. We would we would have a pastor read a scripture, and then once they read a scripture, they would explain it. That is literally every single pastor, every single priest. That's what they do.
yeah.
The Bible said blase 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 blah. What did Jesus say at that point? He said blase blase blah. He told them to do this and to do that and that. And that means you must do this and that and this. Like it's all interpretation. So
Well,
it's kind of hard for, you know, like
yeah,
I stand with you in that sense. Like you have someone reading you scripture and then interpreting it. So someone can't really go to you and tell you there is no room for interpretation in the Bible because it is written and this is what it means.
yeah, and it's crazy because my youngest brother is gay, and for years he was afraid to come out to my family members because he was afraid of the backlash he would get because he was gay. He believes in God. He's a Christian, but he's gay, and the way because of the way that Christianity treats homosexuality, whether that was the actual original interpretation or not. I have never met anyone that's had a positive argument for homosexuality in relation to Christianity. like, um, and because of that, he literally kept it from my grandparents, and they never found out to the day they died. And like, it's crazy. Like, um, it's really just because of the like again, it just goes back to I'm not telling you that what you believe is wrong. I'm just telling you that I don't believe it. So why is that so bad? And in his case, he's not even saying that he didn't believe it. He believes in God. He's a Christian. He just also happens to be gay and therefore is treated differently and looked down upon by other people from his peer groups, from people he looks up to and respects, such as his grandparents, such as his pastor. You know, it's really hard to feel comfortable around people that you're supposed to be able to seek guidance from when you know that that one piece of information could completely change their entire perception of you.
Oh yeah.
So,
How much of that do you think is the religion's fault and not just the person? Because
I'm not sure.
that was because when we breezed over that whole image, the one episode where Kyle and Stephanie came on,
Hmm.
I ended up thinking about that after we got off. Because the way I explained my position was a little bit weird, but I thought about it later on. Because like we always
Uh,
speak about radicalized people in different groups outside of religion, and we say that those individuals are the messed up individuals. Like they don't represent the mass of whatever group that we're talking about. Like in the case with Black Lives Matter, like the people that are rioting specifically, there's not as many as the people that are peacefully protesting. Um, in the case with, we can say for religion, Christianity, we see people that do really bad things. Like how much of that is based on the religion itself, and how much of that is based on like just toxic individuals that practice it.
Unfortunately, I think it's a thing of interpretation because uh, toxic individuals will be the ones who are preaching their perspective to other people who look up to them simply because they hold a title of pastor. You know what I mean? And
Mm, no,
Nah, I don't think that.
because you
Exactly.
just automatically equated negative to having power, or the people that
no,
are
I'm
in
not saying
power.
I'm not.
The way that you
I'm
worded
not.
it made it sound like the people that have power are always
Are
toxic.
the bad ones
Yeah,
always?
yeah.
Okay, well,
The
I'm
way that you
sorry.
worded
That's
it.
not.
That's
That's
what.
not what I meant.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is that like, if there's like a 13 or 14-year-old kid, and he's in church, and everything else his pastor says makes sense to him, and then we get to homosexuality, and we come to the conclusion that it's a sin and that it's wrong. Why would he not believe that as well?
Well, I wouldn't even say that. I would say it's the title. It's not the title. I'm sorry. It's the teaching. It's the scripture itself. In the scripture, that's where it's saying it. It's not it's not really saying it from a pastor every single time. It says it in the Bible that that is the way. So if people read it and they want to follow it, and that's what they're being taught in their own reading, like it doesn't even have to be from the priest or the pastor's perspective. It's in the literature itself. I said teaching, I meant literature, I'm sorry. um that's where you have the issue, because some people go to church every Sunday, but then they'll go home and read the Bible. That's what they do. That's what my mom did. That's what my mom tried to have us do, and we did that, and we would read over some things that truly didn't make sense. In the Bible, there's even, I'm pretty sure there's, I haven't read the Bible in ages, but I'm pretty sure there's parts where they talk about you know homosexuality in the sense of men having sex with men, and Jesus going about it like, oh, whatever. you know it's just what they do. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know the whole
I
Bible.
would have to double check that, but like I partially believe that, and the only reason why I say that is because, and I'm pretty sure you can attest to this, Gio, that like I know the scriptures that say that like um thou without sin cast the first stone. Like pretty much if you're perfect, then you can be the one to judge.
Perfect.
And like just that in itself just makes me think it's like who cares in a sense. I don't know if it's technically true or not, but like I wouldn't think that we would have to be perfect beings, that we're just striving in the sense of Christianity. We're just striving to be as close to the deity in the specific case. Like we're not going to reach it.
No,
And so, like,
never.
I don't understand why people can be mad at other individuals, especially when there's other things happening. Like, there's a bunch of other sins that we just kind of
No.
glance over, and just like, in the case of homosexuality, it kind of confuses me when we look at stuff like that.
Right.
Like, we,
And in that, I would say, in that sense, when you're talking about people being close to the deity, Jesus partied with harlots, man. Like he was in these streets. It's, if you want to be close
Yeah.
to the deity, you're just do what you probably continue to do and live your life to the fullest, and you're going to be closer to God than anything that anyone's going to teach you.
bro,
From that
what?
book.
That wasn't what I was saying, but alright.
I
Oh
know
god.
it was perfect, though. I mean, it was in these streets. I remember that stuff. There are certain things in the Bible that I was like, man, Jesus sound like a cool guy.
Now, I may also be wrong, but I've heard that a very common misconception of the man shall not lay with another man was actually a mistranslation. And originally it was supposed to mean man shan't lay with boy. So originally it wasn't even intended to be about homosexuality. It was aimed at pedophiles.
Oh, sure.
That's what I've heard. Is that there was a mistranslation, and you can argue that it was just a genuine mistranslation that just happened to be passed down from generation to generation,
And they
or
ran with it.
yeah, yeah, and they just ran with it, and or somebody just had an agenda and just was like, whatever, like I'm gonna make this say what I want to say, and that's the downfall to having a book this old. No one that was alive when it was written is still here.
That's what it
So,
is.
like,
Uh,
so,
I don't know.
uh,
How many versions of the Bible are
21 Savage.
there? A lot. That's a lot of interpretation. That's a lot of people changing things. That's a lot of rewording. That's okay. The what movie was it? There was the Book of Eli. You remember that?
I haven't
yeah.
watched it, but yeah.
You never watched the Book of Eli? Good
Can,
movie. Go ahead and watch
I
it.
can
Then
tell y'all this every single time. I don't be watching movies unless someone forces
all
me.
right, don't watch the movie. Go ahead and watch that one though, because at the end, I'm gonna spoil it for you. It's hella old, so if you didn't see it, that's on you.
It's all good.
At the it's like they literally have he's carrying a book and he's trying to carry it to this library. It's a dystopian place. Like books are like gold, basically. It's all about making sure written word is passed down to the next generation. So he's carrying this book, doing some savage stuff to keep this book, and it's a Bible. It's just a new King James Bible. But he's like murking people over this book, and people are trying to murk him over the book. But at the end of it, he finally gets the book to this library where, you know, it's the only library that exists on Earth anymore. And he gets the Bible to the library, and the priest is like, "Thank you, cool, we got it. We got a book. We got a Bible." Um, but that is just one Bible out of I don't know. At least I know at least 5 different versions of the Bible. Just at least 5, and I'm pretty sure there's more. But the fact that there's that many interpretations of the Bible, like, shouldn't doesn't that raise a question of like, oh, what was changed? What's different? Because it's not always just wording. I'm pretty sure there's going to be more changed in it. And the fact that some people like protect this book and really want to follow it for word, it's kind of crazy. That movie in itself, the reason I brought it up is because that's how people can be about it. You know, they can be that wild, that asinine about a book with words that was written so long ago. It's
I
bizarre to me.
I think
Go
that
ahead.
there's good morals to be found in the Bible, in a sense of like storytelling from a storytelling perspective, because there's clearly instances in the Bible of like Jesus helping people and like people harming each other, helping each other. So there is lessons to be learned from reading the Bible. But for me personally, uh, I think it's more about actually taking those lessons and applying them to your own life instead of just worshiping this book. You know what I mean? Worshiping this word, this scripture, because you can recite a scripture 1,000 times and not really know what it means. Um,
True.
so I think if you're actually applying principles of like basic right and wrong to your everyday life, To me, that's the best thing that can come out of the Bible is people using the Bible to make themselves better and in turn make this a better place to live, as opposed to telling other people why they're sinners or, you know, why what you're doing is wrong, blah 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 blah. Just why is it your business? If you really believe the Bible from front to back and you're really a faithful, devout Christian, then just worry about being the best Christian you can be, and
What
just
is
help.
that in your definition?
Just not judgmental. I'll say that right off the bat. But you know, like it doesn't take anything. I don't have to be a Christian to help people. You know what I mean? I don't have to be a Christian to understand to be able to look at a story from the Bible and take something from it. Take something useful either to myself or something that I can use to help somebody else later down the road. Like David and Goliath. If I think about the story, the first thing that comes to my mind is like stand up to bullies. That's like the first place my mind jumps to. I'm sure that there's like deeper nuances and complexities to that, but that's the first place that like my mind goes to. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Which is a good. Would you argue that standing up to bullies is a good message?
Obviously.
Yeah. So I mean, like I don't have to be a Christian to realize that, but it's still helpful. But that's an instance of me using the Bible in a non-judgmental way. You know what I mean? As opposed to be like, you're not you're not loving who I think you should be loving, so you're terrible. Like I don't know.
I feel you. I feel you. Um, yeah, because I definitely agree with that. Just again, off of what I already said earlier, like it doesn't make sense to me that we're all striving for the same thing, knowing that we all have our own troubles. If I just put it that way. We all have our own troubles. We all have things that we struggle with that might be morally incorrect to other people, depending on who we talk to. But it doesn't seem like it would be right, like you said, to be judgmental. Like I do understand that. I practice in it. You practice in it. I'm sure Geo practices in it as far as being judgmental about certain things.
Oh yeah, there's
But
certain people who can get both middle fingers.
but yeah, I think everybody practices in it to some degree. Like it might not be like top tier, S tier judgment, just being judgmental, but we all do it in some type of way at least. Um,
But
you got it.
what gets it for me though? What gets it for me though? Because like being just like randomly judgmental is one thing, but being judgmental and then claiming that you're doing it because you're doing it in God's name is a whole other thing.
That doesn't make sense
Like,
because literally, if you take one of the scriptures, if you take Jesus, I think Jesus says it, perfect person, it's the only person that can judge. Not verbatim. That's not what it said verbatim, but like that in itself just kind of nullifies all that.
well, I know that. So you're saying that being judgmental in God's name doesn't make sense? Is that
Yeah,
what you're saying?
that's what I'm saying.
Okay, like I agree with you.
Yeah, yeah.
What I what
I'm
yeah,
agreeing with
what
you.
I'm saying what I'm saying is that people still do it.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying that doesn't make
Y-
sense.
Yeah. So, like I don't know. So that like that's my biggest gripe is that people use religion to be judgmental under the name of their whatever god that they're choosing to use.
Yeah.
So,
Let me
or
ask
if
you
you're
this then.
still, hmm,
What religion would you practice? In the
like I
obvious
can't just
case, in the obvious case that you're not that you believed in a god. If you believe in a god or multiple gods, what religion would you practice?
I just
Like
it's
it,
like
it doesn't
almost like
have to be like an educated perspective or anything.
man, I don't know because if that's the case, I would literally just be picking based off of aesthetics.
Yeah, well, which one seems more appealing
Yeah,
to you?
I'm picking this one because they suits is popping. I like that.
like I don't know. I don't give it much thought. I'm gonna say uh,
You think it too hard, man. It's supposed to just be like a quick snap.
hmm, whatever allows me to eat cheese and be debaucherous.
Oh wow, cheese and debauchery.
Like I
That
don't
is.
know.
You remember Graham Graham? That's a Graham Graham. So
Graham, 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 Graham. Graham, Graham?
Graham
Uh,
Graham.
I'm
um,
hurting right now. Let me look this up.
You don't remember Graham Graham?
Dude,
no, he didn't meet him.
who is Graham
You never
Graham?
met Graham,
He's never been
Mister
to a
Graham
convention
Graham?
with us.
Nah.
No, I'm just talking about he played online.
What was the online name?
Graham Graham.
Oh yeah, I had no clue who y'all talking about. I'm thinking like a cartoon or something. Gram gram positive bacteria.
Oh my god, no.
Wait, what did you say? Look it.
Shut up. I know what you're trying to do right now.
No, I literally don't remember what you said.
Said, oh my
Oh
god.
no, not that. The answer to the question, chill out. That's something I don't understand either when people go ahead.
um, I don't know.
Oh,
I
you
said,
said
well, I was.
debauchery and okay. You didn't say a specific what.
Yeah, no.
There's nothing I can say that feels like a respectful answer.
I don't want a respectful
Cause,
answer. I just want a answer.
bro, I'm not out to be. I'm not about to be out here disrespecting people's religions, like legitimate religions.
How is it disrespectful to pick something? You don't got. I don't need you to explain why. I just want you to just
All
choose
right.
one off of
Well,
aesthetics.
if I was gonna choose, if I was gonna choose a religion based off of my previous joke answer, the only thing off the top of my head that would include debauchery is Satanism. And that's like.
Bro, I'm gone, bro. No, come on.
What do you want me to do?
All
Like,
right, I got a question. I have another question. We're going back to high key mode since you
High
went
key?
there. All
This
right,
was super high key.
we're going super high key
we
mode
never
now.
left. We never
Nah,
left the key.
I was
The
trying to
key.
drop it down, dude. I was trying to drop down an octave, and then this man said Satanism. All right, so my question, um, not a question. I got a statement. I feel as if people don't like religion because they don't like being told what and what not to do.
True.
Is that fair or is that not fair?
yeah,
That's
that's
fair.
fair.
I think that's fair.
Like I think that is the baseline reason why people don't. Because I very rarely hear people say, "Oh, I don't like the morals. Oh, I don't like anything else." It's always, "I want to do this."
And they won't let me.
Yeah.
They look at me different. I'll give you that for sure. People don't like being told what to do at all from a young age. You know how many kids ask you why? Once they figure out what why is, like, look, even me, even once
Why
I figured out
why is a good question though?
why is a good question because it sets up the need for an answer and the need for an explanation. I like it because realistically, I'll say this for instance. I smoke weed. I smoke weed. For the longest time, Dare told me not to do it. And I listened. I didn't even think about it. I listened. Later on, I asked why. Why shouldn't I do this? Why shouldn't I smoke? And I was like, okay, well, my friends explained to me this is what it does. I was like, I'm not sure. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that at all. They were just like, okay, give it time. You might want to do it. I was like, okay, I'll take my time and do it. Eventually, I did, and I felt great. And then I was like, well, if there was so many different instances of people telling me not to do something and I just blindly listened to it, but once I finally did it, I felt great. Well, what else are they hiding from me? Why? Why? And that's why I question everything now. There's there's a video game out there, and you all know it. It's called Assassin's Creed. There's a quote in that game that tends to pop up in most of the games. But I remember the character Ezio Auditore saying it, and it just struck a chord with me. He said, "Nothing is true. Everything is permitted." To me, I took that as allowing the why, allowing the what, allowing questioning, allowing the perhaps, allowing the maybe. So, leading back into the original uh, question or statement that was had, yes. Um, Actually, I forgot where I was going.
Man, free roaming the map now.
I was super free roaming,
On top
dude.
of a
I've been free
building.
roaming. I've been I've been free roaming all day. Let me free roam here. I'm gonna go ahead. You started with people don't like being told what to do, and it's very true. Nah, people in the smallest sense of the word don't like authority. No one likes to follow the rules. For real. Everybody wants the ability to do as they please, and that's kind of why you run into the issues that you get with religion, because there are some people that will sit there and take it all day and just, you know, whatever the Lord has said is real. But then you have people like ourselves that wonder why. Why do I have to do that? And it's just natural. It's natural to ask why as a human being. It's natural to want to go off the beaten path as a human being. It's just what we do.
Especially when you don't understand it. I think
Yeah.
that's the piece that kind of kills us. But go ahead, look it.
I think, well, first of all, I'm not going to say I think. I do have a response to your question in regards to the number one reason being the opposition to authority. My personal reason
Yes.
is just like it kind of goes in line with what Gio was saying. Is I think people should be able to live how they want, as long as long as it's how they want and how they're choosing to live is not affecting others in a negative way.
Why is that the baseline though?
I would say it in this sense: if the way you choose to live is killing people, and eating them, you probably gonna look at in a very negative light.
But why?
That
Like
being a very extreme sense of it, but
like
yeah,
just okay. Like I wake up on a day to day basis. I got stuff I gotta do. I got stuff I want to do. Things I don't want to do. And at no point in my day am I just like you know what? I'm gonna run into a crowd of people because because I don't believe in God. Like, um, I don't know. I just like I don't naturally want to hurt anyone. You know what I mean? Like I see
Hmm.
people. There's people in the last 5 years and things that I've seen, learned, said, and done, and I wouldn't have done them in my entire. Excuse me. I would not have done them in my entire 30 years of living. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Um, I was growing up. I was brought up to say and think very certain things, um, based on the values and beliefs that were instilled in me by my parents and their parents, and so on and so forth. And going to school, seeing the people around you, your peer groups, people in your church, whatever, on different jobs. But I don't have time to be out here judging people that aren't causing problems. You know what I mean? Like my life is hard enough.
Hmm.
like uh and that's just kind of like the basic principle I live by. Now, if you're going out of your way to make life harder for other individuals, then yeah, these hands gonna be free 99 for you. like, but other than that, like no, I'm not out just here. I'm not out here just causing problems for no reason. Like if I don't like you, it's because I've either seen you do or say something to someone else, either around me or that I was able to observe, or you've done something to me directly.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I have then updated my opinion of you based off of this new information. And now I'm just like, all right, well, like the dude's homophobic, fuck that guy. Like that dude's racist, fuck that guy. Like like I don't believe in the whole love and forgive everybody for everything all the time. Like that's how people get put in toxic situations with toxic people. Um,
Yeah, I'm gonna save that for
like
next week because that's that just that last part of the statement I think is a
yeah,
good topic to touch on. But
yeah,
my quick and dirty response to that is uh it's nuance. Like forgiving people isn't necessarily yo, we can still be friends and still go back to the way stuff is like was before. It's not always like that. It's more
you're
so
100%
like
correct.
yeah, it's more so forgiving people and forgetting so you're not harming yourself over the thought of
Yes.
whatever that's going on.
Right.
Because like we already talked about mental health and whatnot. There's a lot of things that can destroy you mentally and wrongdoings in your life and your relationships with people is definitely one of those things. So
Mhm.
anywho, do
I
I
mean, I'll touch on that a little bit. I
you
mean,
got
I
it?
can forgive people, but like in the end of the day, the forgive forget part, like no, you remember, especially if those wrongdoings were that jarring at the time. Like, yeah, forgive them to allow yourself peace. Forgetting, that's a different story. No, remember that. Remember that because you don't want it to happen again. And if it happens again, well then, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta be like, oh, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Mhm. Like 100%. I'm not an antagonistic person, but there are certain people that if I see them, it's on sight.
Who you gonna say, man? Who you gonna say?
My goodness.
I will say there's one person in this world that I will fight. I'll swing on them. One.
You gonna add them?
Am I can't add him. My man doesn't even have a social media. He's an old dude.
We can
He
find them.
like
Social media can do it.
I'm pretty sure he's not on social
You know
media.
Twitter can find them.
He just annoys me, and I'm pretty sure he's not. He's like 45 plus, and just was the bane of my existence at my job. And I'm pretty sure if anybody from that job sees this, they would just be, oh, yeah, me too. Like that's really
Bruh.
no one liked him, but he never got fired. I just don't get it. He did things to get fired and then get fired. That's how bad this job was.
How long was he
So
there? I was like, tenure is
I'm,
a powerful thing.
no, not it couldn't be that long. Probably 2 years, maybe
Oh,
more.
okay.
It's not tenured. Tenure was not the situation because he got fired from a different position in the job, but still somehow worked where I worked at, and they just wouldn't let him
Man
go.
just got
They just were
demoted.
like, no, he was working 2 jobs there, and they were like, oh, we got to fire you from this one. But they were like, oh, you can stay there. I'm like, bro, he sucks.
Like what? What you
Absolutely
mean?
suck. You suck. You're terrible.
I hate you.
Wait, look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm pretty sure I've told everybody this story before, but I used to work at the airport with with a company that I wanted to talk about. But basically, I say it.
Egging him
Pull
on.
it. Pull the trigger. Pull the trigger. I worked at it with this company, and I was washing cars, and then I was also in like the booth, like doing the rentals and whatnot. But while washing cars, this happened. This was supposed to be a good day, and it turned out to not be a good day. Because as soon as I walked in, I've never had a time where I like walked off a job until then. Like that was the one where it was like I can't be here right now because I don't know what I'm gonna do. So basically, I walked in. I said hi to one of the new engineers there. He was like, "What's going on?" I was like, "Man, nothing much. I can't complain." I said, "I can complain, but I won't." That used to be my quotable. And on that day, I knew something was up because I felt like I was lying. I got in to the wash. I see the man there that I don't like. I'm like, all right, well, he's not helping the one kid, the new kid, with the work, with washing one of the sides. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm just going to pick up on this side and start washing. It's cool. Like, we'll be good. We have tons of vehicles to do, and he sucks. So we're going to be good because I'm here now. I'm sitting there. I start in the car, the first car I see. I see him roll in on the other side of the garage. He pulls out this toaster, puts the toaster on the
Wait,
ground.
hold on. Alright, go ahead.
He pulls out this toaster and he puts it on the ground. I'm in the back seat of the car that I just started washing, cleaning it out. I pop up again and I look at him. He grabs the power washer. I walk to the very next car, open the driver's side, start cleaning that. I pop my head back out, and he now has the power washer inside the toaster. And I'm just looking at him, and I stop for a second, and then he pulls the trigger on the power washer
Is the
and
toaster plugged
proceeds
in?
no
Okay, okay.
proceeds to power wash the inside of this toaster. And it's one of those old toasters, like only 2 slots, has bulbs in it,
Oh my god.
bulbs and lining. So I'm just like, okay. I go to the back of this car the second car that I started washing, clean that out. I pop my head back in. He has now put the power wash in the other slot of the toaster. He's cleaning through it. Granted, we're in the garage and it's pretty loud over the vacs and, with the machine running and now this power washer going. And I'm yelling his name. And I'm like, yo, what are you doing? He acts like he doesn't hear me. So I go to the third car, start cleaning it, and then I pop up again and I stop. And I'm like, yo. He pretends he doesn't hear me again. Then I yell his name. And I'm like, bruh. He's like, what's up? I'm like, what are you doing? And he says, huh? I said, what are you doing? Why are you power washing a toaster? And he was like, I want to use it. I'm over here saying power wash. It's a pressure washer. So when you pressure wash something, it is
That thing's getting
it is
blasted.
strong enough. It is strong enough to take paint off a wall or take
That's some
like
scary movie type stuff.
it's strong enough to clean the floor in this garage. So it's high pressure. In my head, as soon as he put it in there
Just
and pulled that
disintegrates.
trigger, I was like, he broke every bulb that was in there. And then proceeded to go to the next one. And then I kind of just sat there and I was like, this idiot doesn't realize what he's doing. And his explanation to me when I asked him what he's doing pissed me off the most. It's when I said, you're breaking it and we are busy. And he was like, well, you're working, so I think we're fine. I've never walked out of a job.
Bro.
I walked back through the bay where the new engineer was, and a mechanic was there too. And he was like, what's going on? I was like, you know what? Remember when I said I couldn't complain? I was like, I can now. He was like, what do you mean? I was like, this motherfucker's up there pressure washing a toaster. And he said, what? I was like, that sounds stupid, doesn't it? Doesn't make sense. Didn't make sense. Will never make sense to me. And I've never been a snitch, but I went and told my boss, I was like, yo, dog, I'm going home. He was like, what? I was like, I can't be here right now. He was like, why? And I was like, my man is up there pressure washing a toaster right now. And he was like, he thought I was lying. Thought I was fuck. I was like, nah, I don't know. I'm going home. You can fire him or fire me. You choose. I'm leaving. I went home. I showed up the next day. He was still working. He was still working. And I told him, I was like, yo, I think you're the only person in this world I hate.
Bro.
I was like, I think you're the only person in this world I can't stand to see ever.
I'm hurt. I thought there was a better reason, but I got. I'm satisfied though. I'm satisfied with what I got.
There's more to it than that. He was a piece of work forever, ever since I met him. But
That was the last straw.
that was the last straw. I've never, they promoted me my first week of working because I was doing such a great job. I was like, bro, I ain't doing nothing. I'm showing up. I'm showing up. and being partially proactive in this job. And it was like, oh my God, you're so great. That job was terrible. I'll never do it again. Never do anything like it again. Um, yeah,
Bruh.
because of people like that.
Well,
People like
there's another episode idea.
what?
Work.
Work, terrible jobs.
Work in general. There's so much.
Okay, good work, bad work. I'll take it. Mm.
All right, you done here?
I hope this person sees. He'll never see it. He doesn't use the internet. But
You
like,
say that now until he gets
I mean, he probably does.
a video
But like,
directly to the phone.
if I ever see him in these streets, it's on site for real.
Bring the pressure washer.
Absolutely. I'll
And then
hit
I
him
got
up.
hands for you too, just cause.
Even thinking about that story, like even pulling that out of my brain, like it brought up so much raw hatred. Like for real, like you ever have just that's the type of person that just stresses you out because that's what they want to do. I feel like that's what it was. I feel like he just wanted to piss me off more than all the foolishness started when I showed up. First of all, you're just not helping someone when they really need it, and then you're just like, let me pull into the garage and just break this thing on the floor. It's like he declared war. That's what I felt like. He declared war on me. I ain't like that. Let's move on. What are we watching now?
Oh, it's time to close out, man.
Oh God,
You 2 hours deep.
with the Halo theme.
Yeah.
Oh, you did that.
Yeah.
Go crazy.
Yeah.
Now you want
Let
to talk
'em-
about religion? This is a religious experience right here.
yeah. This is Gregorian chant.
All right. This is the end. Even though this game was the beginning.
Tell me why I thought that was where the guitar kicks in.
Nah, this is just all choir, dude. All right. End of episode 15. You know what? Let me go ahead and get the actual song, man. We want the actual song. I know we do. I'm sorry.
You want to get the hype? No, I
Right?
just want the chant.
You want the chant?
I just let it run. Do what you want to do.
Nah. But we'll hit this throughout, and then we can go ahead and close out the song. All right. I'm gonna turn this down though. Definitely is an experience. Yeah. Episode 15. Religion isn't a bad thing. That's all I got to say. I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and get your shout outs and whatnot.
Religion's not bad, but don't use religion to be a dick. So that's what I got to say. Follow me on the socials. It's light_strife. Especially and on Twitter, it's Strife Light, where you can come see my debauchery in person.
Ah,
But
You be liking
but other
everything but
than
my stuff. I be so hurt
what you mean?
seeing about like 30 thick chicks. I'm like, yo, can you like my one tweet? Like, come on, man. I got like 20 tweets
I know what
out.
you want.
This man saying something for real. This man saying you gotta be present on social media, and all thing is light stripe likes freaking thick chick 25 or whatever. Come
Big
on.
chick 25.
No hate to
I
them.
got, I got you. I got you. I got you. But yeah, follow me on the socials. Instagram is light_strife. Twitter is at strife light. And follow my homie PerspekTev. And go like his tweets. Because I'm about to do that as soon as we get off.
Look, I'm following his joint right now.
Oh boy.
I'm on it.
Don't be creepy and go through and like them all. I don't need that.
I'm about to like everything.
Oh man,
Uh,
what you got?
all
Put your cheeks on Twitter and then I'll like
right.
I mean, speaking of which, while we have you here, Gio, how did you appreciate
What,
the booties of the bros? What was that last weekend?
bro? Listen,
Can't hear you, man. Can't hear you. You so mad. You're covering something.
Orion Chant was bopping my
Oh,
mic right
my
now.
bad, my bad, my bad.
Turn it down a little bit
I
more. Can you hear
got
me
you.
now?
Yeah, I got you.
Just a little bit. Turn my headphones up. Turn my headphones up. All right. But yeah, no, I was so caught off guard. I was like, bro, do I send one back? Like, is this the time and the place? I was like, I just can't. I just got two booty pics, and neither of them are what I wanted. And what did it say? What did it say? Just checking or something? Something wild. Something
Yeah.
reckless. I had to look at it when I was texting Light today, and it said just checking on you. And I was like, no. Light, proud of you, man. You see, if you were hitting those squats every day, it'd be way better. But you thick, boy.
Oh my
I
gosh.
appreciate it.
Anyway,
I'm,
shout out, people that don't impose their religion on others. Y'all are real MVPs. Just have your beliefs and understand that they are your beliefs, and it's okay to have differences of opinion with people in what they believe in. That's really what it is, man. We're all on this earth just trying to get by, trying to succeed, trying to do better for ourselves, and it ain't on us to put other people down, especially when it comes to spirituality. That's it. Anyway, follow my socials. Most of them are Sasuke Who. That's what it'll say. That's on IG. That's Twitter. Follow Corporate Thugs as well. That's where I play music and DJ at. We have a show coming up this weekend. If you are near Harrisburg, and I'm not going to say if you have nothing better to do, this is the best thing you could possibly do is to come to Corporate Thugs and Colleagues.
Bring the
We're
mess.
gonna bring out a bunch of homies, and it's a free event. Uh, War Park, definitely pop out. We have an after party planned for y'all as well, and that's $10 online, $15 at the door. But it's gonna be a whole lot of fun, and we're giving away stuff because that's what we do. We throw down for the community because we love y'all. Um, with that being said, yeah, don't use religion to be a dick times two. Times two.
So I gotta go blue? Is that what we're saying? Alright, turn this back on. But yeah, as everyone already said, religion
Let me
ain't
turn it back
religion ain't a
on.
bad thing. It's useful, it's helpful, and there's people that weaponize it, which maybe that's part of the religion, maybe it's not. But I think for a lot of religions, as we already said earlier, provide moral values and other helpful tools to navigate through life, which I will attest to that. I know my mom will attest to that. I know plenty of people that will attest to that. So if you find yourself in a lost place and you find religion as your way out of that lost place, then use it effectively, use it the right way. Um, that being said, follow the podcast related things, PerspekTev on all social media that are relevant. As always, wait, what's up with the eyebrows, man? What are you doing?
I thought you was about to
Wiggling
say
my
something.
hair.
Oh, I'm so confused.
I thought you were about to say something that didn't need
Who,
to be
me?
said. No, Tev.
Oh,
What was he about to
oh,
say?
I'm not saying that anymore. We're good.
What? No, say it. I want to know what it
Except,
is.
No,
except,
don't under that
yeah, I'm not gonna
phrase.
say it. I'm not gonna say it.
Say it.
The
No.
the
Tell
the
me.
for the forbidden social media platform.
Which one?
All right, you're done. Anywho, follow
I
podcast
don't know.
perspective on Twitter, not Snapchat. Dang, I'm hurt. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Missing one always. TikTok. I haven't been posting as
Oh, you want to say
much.
the one with a P?
Yes, I haven't been posting
Ah,
as
no, we don't
much,
fuck with
but
them.
we're gonna get back to it. I just gotta get back on the game. You slow down, you falter, but I'll get back on the horse, start riding again. Um, what else do I got? Shout outs to the homies, y'all too, showing up. Really appreciate y'all. Like having these conversations. Like being able to connect with y'all again. Like, distance is a crazy thing, but we make it work. Shout outs to the homies that aren't here. As always, willing to have you on. Let me know. We can make it work. If it's Sunday is not the day for you, we can find a better day. If the time that we decide to do it on ain't for you, we can find a different time. We'll make it work. But I don't want to have to chase people down to get them on. Especially if you don't want to be on. I'm cool with that. Nothing wrong with that. Um, to the people that haven't seen this yet and that haven't or don't know about this experience, you guys are more than welcome. Come on, let me know. Let one of the homies know. Send us a message. Dude, show up at my house if you know where that's at. Like whatever. Just like let me know.
Breakfast.
We'll make it
With a
work.
brick.
With the
With a
brick.
brick so we can get that check.
Yeah, tape a piece of paper to the brick, throw it through my window, and we'll see how well that
Yo,
goes.
catch him in the noggin.
I was like, I can get my check, and at the same time, we can get you on the podcast. What else do I have? Um, yeah, if you like this type of content, I'm gonna use this. So since Liga needs me to say like, comment, subscribe, and all that stuff, so I'm gonna use this, clip it, and put it. If you like the content,
He's so close.
then you should like, comment, and subscribe. Share it with your friends and
Like
family.
comments. Yo, you
I'd
remember back
appreciate
when we
that.
were saying rate, RCS, rate, comments? Why were we saying rate?
Because there's no more rate system on YouTube. It's the stars are gone. It's a thumbs up or
They
thumbs
had
down.
stars on YouTube,
Yeah, that's old YouTube, bro.
bro.
Rate, RCS, rate, comment, subscribe. We were hype.
Dang, that's before my time.
Yeah.
Yo, y'all wanna get Swoozy on here?
Yeah, I
Swoozy.
was friends with him on Facebook.
You don't know who
Who on here?
Swoozy?
Oh, Swoozy.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought I look. I saw that
Let me.
Gregorian chant yelling
Yeah, my bad.
at me.
You must got me on like high volume.
Bruh, I'm using my phone for the first time because I was free roaming, so everything up,
My bad,
way
my
up.
bad. I turned it off. So I was like, man, I could just start pestering him. I doubt it'll happen, but a man could try.
He might.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows?
You never know.
Never say
Swoozy, I
never.
haven't heard of Swoozy in a minute.
He still makes videos.
Sparingly
He just put
now.
one out. Yeah, he just put one out like last month or this month. This
Yeah,
month.
like I think last week.
Yeah.
Hey, Swoozy, come on the show. Don't be lame. Come through. Say what's up to your boy. It's been a long time.
Shouldn't have left you.
Yes.
See me on the sticks, Swoozy.
Oh, look
He
at
will
you don't
smack
want
you with
none of
whatever you
that. How you gonna
You don't
fight
want
an
that problem.
old school pro? You can't. You can't do
You don't
that.
want zero problems, big fella.
You can't.
See me on the
Anywho,
sticks.
You weren't even that good at DOA. I don't even know why you want to challenge him? Because I know that's what you want to play, and that's not going to happen.
man, he just
Don't
wants
do
to
that.
jiggle around. That's all. That's all good though.
That's all. Single physics.
Oh man. All right, we're going right out to this song. If we can get some sound.